good Wednesday evening, Southeast Texas. Nice evening out there tonight. A little bit on the chilly side on our roofing 911 Skycam network outside our 12 studios, sponsored by Mid-County Plumbing. We have clear skies. We did have some mid and high level clouds work across the area late this afternoon, early this evening. Those have already moved out though, but you probably noticed those this afternoon. Up in the Lakes area, our roofing 911 Skycam network up in Jasper, sponsored by Pavalis. You also have clear skies, and we started out this morning in the 30s and 40s, warmed into the low 60s this afternoon. It's going to be pretty chilly tonight, especially in the lakes, some low to mid 30s up there. There'll be some scattered frost for your Thursday morning, and we should rebound into the lower 60s coming up for afternoon highs tomorrow, not only for the lakes, but in the triangle as well. Looks like low 60s in the afternoon, and even in parts of the triangle, especially of Interstate 10 North, could be a lot of scattered frost. All right, down in Port Arthur now on our roofing 911 Skycam network, sponsored by Market Basket. There's the clouds. They're moving out though. They're heading southward into the Gulf. These are the clouds that moved across the lakes area and the triangle just briefly this afternoon for an hour or two, and then they moved on out. So really not going to affect temperatures too much tonight, but certainly more clouds in Port Arthur than what we have along Interstate 10. But you will clear out as well. In Port Arthur, you started out this morning fairly cool too, in the lower 40s, got up to the lower 60s for highs this afternoon. Boy, nice sunset over there in Orange on our roofing 911 Skycam network. Over in Orange, cooling off pretty good now, down to 56, sponsored by the Horseman's Western Store. In fact, all areas had low 60s today. We'll repeat that again tomorrow before it really starts warming up, coming up for Friday into the weekend on into next week. But pretty chilly tonight. All right, your weather headlines. Of course, that chilly night ahead tonight. We'll be seeing overnight lows dropping into the low 30s in the lakes. Some scattered frost up there. Mid 30s in the triangle. A little bit of frost here and there, in a few spots here and there. A cool day coming up tomorrow. We're still a little bit below normal. Normal high is about 64. We'll be in the low 60s tomorrow. Not too bad. I guess it'll be mild to cool coming up tomorrow. Highs in the 70s on Friday, into the weekend, on into next week. And it's been weeks, weeks since we've seen 70s for highs, and we could even be looking at some mid 70s coming up by the middle end of next week. Chilly out there this evening. See, there's the clouds we showed you on our camera down in Port Arthur. Those are moving out now. 54 Orange, 50 in Beaumont, 50 in Jasper. Be clear tonight. Winds, a little bit of wind tonight, not much. It does calm down toward daybreak. Still some gusts, 3, 4, 5 miles an hour possible though, here and there overnight. Houston Intercontinental coming in at 59, 55 in Conroe. Like I said, we drop on down into the 30s coming up later tonight with some scattered frost in the morning. And then we warm into the low 60s. Been a nice day coming up. A little bit less wind too than what we had today. And of course, our weather watchers today reported temperatures in the 50s as well. Right now, they got into the low 60s. All right, temperatures across the rest of the state: 56 Waco, 53 in Dallas, 49 in Wichita Falls, 40s along the Red River into the Panhandle, 60s from Central Texas southward. Of course, we were in the 60s too. These are current temperatures. Mid upper 50s, 63 Victoria, 69, almost 70 Laredo. That warm air is heading our way. It'll be here Friday as that ridge building out west begins to work on in. High pressure at the surface. It's a weak one. This isn't Arctic high. This is Pacific high building down. So we'll see our winds gradually diminish. A little patch of clouds with some precipitation in Central Texas not reaching the ground. That's moving on off to the southeast. Low clouds, you can see those to our northeast. Those will stay to our northeast. There's that patch of clouds in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere. Those are mid and high level clouds that came through late today. Those are currently moving out. Now here's a look once again at those low temperatures when you wake up tomorrow morning. Pretty close to freezing. You know your cold spots in the lakes. You know them by now. Burkeville, Newton. You get outside of Jasper, east or west, north or south, you're at 32, 31 in the morning, 34 Livingston, 33 Hunt. So there'll be some scattered frost in the lakes. and Interstate 10 about 36 in the morning. But you get outside of Beaumont, let's say you get over to Vidor, Pine Forest, over to Mauriceville, Deweyville, some of your colder spots in more of the rural areas, you'll have temperatures maybe 34, 35 in the morning. Always take off a degree or two from Beaumont when you get outside of Beaumont, some of the rural areas like that. It's pretty cold. And 34 tomorrow morning into Quincy. All right, here's the trough that's coming through now as we speak. That's why it was chilly today. Of course, we had the cold front move through last night. Here's the trough coming through. That's the reason, another reason it's cold tonight. Got the colder temperatures aloft. Notice tomorrow it slowly moves out. We don't really get the ridge. See the ridge there? We don't really get the ridge until Friday into the weekend. So it'll be a lot warmer Friday compared to tomorrow. There's that low we were talking about earlier. That'll be our next chance of rain, but not until late Tuesday of next week. But some of our long-range computer models weaken this as it moves in. We'll see how that verifies. We've got a long time to watch that. We'll see if this actually weakens as it moves across the region next Tuesday night. Some models say it will, some models say it will not. So we're only going to go with a 20% coverage of showers right now with this system by Tuesday evening of next week. And any precipitation with that. Now this is going to change. What's today? Wednesday. We're talking six days out, being next Tuesday. Less than 1/10 of an inch of rain, maybe a little heavier out to our west as the low will be weakening as it works in. This is going to change. This is going to change, but just kind of showing the potential as it's weakening, moving in. Not a whole lot of precipitation there coming up for it'll be Tuesday night of next week. Tuesday night. All right, futurecast overnight. There goes those clouds to our northeast we showed you. Drop it on down to the mid-30s in the morning. Still a little bit of a northerly wind in the morning. Lakes area, you'll be close to freezing, probably 33, maybe 34. We'll see what the winds do in the lakes around daybreak. But cold nonetheless. There'll be some scattered frost, that's for sure. 39 by 8 o'clock in the morning. 58, 59 by noon, and we finally hit the low 60s. So it'll be fairly cool tomorrow. You know, with a cold night tonight, we don't get that ridge where the temperatures warm up aloft in the mid and upper atmosphere, as we showed you, until Friday. And then tomorrow evening, we'll be in the 50s by 7 p.m. All right, your marine forecast, not much wind out there. North tomorrow, becoming southwest late, 5 to 12 knots. Water temperature at 56 degrees. Of course, the water pretty cold. Clear skies, cold tonight. Some scattered frost and some spots, your normal spots. You see the frost, you'll see a little bit coming up tomorrow morning. Right around freezing in the lake. It's going to be close, give or take a degree or two. You're going to have a little bit of frost regardless. 32 to 34, maybe a 35 up in the lakes. 35 inland southeast Texas, and then 35, 36 along I-10. So cold start, grab the jacket heading out for your Thursday morning. Tomorrow we warm to the lower 60s under sunny skies. Winds will become southwest mid to late afternoon at 5 to 12. We'll say around 60 in the lakes, 62 in the triangle. And with those winds becoming south-southwest late in the day, we'll go 60